Hey, welcome to another episode of Freedom on Fire with Bob TV. Robert Brown, how you doing today? Well, the DNC lawsuit got its first blow today. I mean, a real hard blow. But you got to take it with a grain of salt. They motioned to throw it out. And it was thrown out. The case was thrown out. Now, does that mean that's it for the case? Not at all. Not at all. Mr. Beck and all of them going to go back into their offices and talk about step 2. There may be appeal to the process. But, nevertheless, whether it goes back to court or not, whether the court say, hey, look, nothing you can do about the money that you gave, but hey, the next election is coming up. You want to show how mad you are and how upset you are, you hit them back. Not physically, but you find a way to let them know that this will never happen again. Now, in this motion, and I'm going to read it, they admitted that they can go in the back room, smoke a cigarette, and fix the elections. But basically, in this whole thing, they admitted, or pretty much gave in, that they pushed this thing in Hillary Clinton's favor. They were not equal about this. They were very biased. They're very much on her side. They're very much tilting the scale. They're very much messing with the data and everything to do whatever they can to get her elected. Yes, was it a stab in the back of Bernie Sanders? Yes. Was it a prison rape of Bernie Sanders? Yeah, all that. But the part that really gets me is he know it. He knows it. Every 8 years, there's going to be somebody that the left's going to pick out to be the populist person, but in the end, they are not going to let that person get elected, and they're going to move this person over to pull people that he got into the party to vote for the establishment candidate. Now, things were a little different with Obama because Obama's popularity kind of shocked him. It overturned them. Hillary got nervous about that, and they went eventually with Obama because of the level of statue a black president, the first black president, will bring versus the statue of the first female president or first female white president bring. The idea of a black man finally becoming president was something that would have never happened in the Republican Party, and it was the American dream come true, and they can rally people to come behind their agenda as a result of this token, and I know you don't like that word, this token of a political figure to bring people into the election process. A woman president would have did that, but not like a black president, and that's what happened in 2008. These are the things I found out about because I was on the 2008 campaign. I told you over and over again. But 2012, I saw this was going to Wall Street, and it was basically coddling the corporate donors in the elite class versus coddling the people. Now, let me go ahead and read this article and get a full understanding on what actually happened with this lawsuit. It's a good thing, it's a bad thing. And I'm going to go through the good parts. I'm going to go through the bad parts, and I'm going to show you the good part of this article. All right, so this is coming from the Observer magazine. And it basically say in June 2016, a class action lawsuit was filed against the DNC. The former DNC chair, Debbie Wasserman, do anything for Hillary. I call her Debbie Watcher, man. She sucks. For violating the DNC charter by rigging the Democratic presidential primaries for Hillary Clinton against Bernie Sanders. Even former Senator Minority Leader Harry Reid admitted in July 2016, everybody knew that this was not a fair deal. Now this is from Harry Reid, who's retired now. He said everybody knew this wasn't a fair deal. He adding that Debbie Wasserman's show should have resigned much sooner than she did. She shouldn't have never been on the campaign in the first place because she was on the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2008. That should have automatically disqualified her. Now, Tulsi Gabbard, she knew she was biased. She knew she needed to step down. And she knew what was going on, and she knew what they were doing, and she didn't think that was fair. Now, do that mean I'm going to be on behind Tulsi Gabbard, pushing her and backing her? No. That doesn't mean anything like that. You know me. You know I vote on people's record and their positions, and what have they done to implement those positions. You know, I don't count nobody out, but I don't count certain people in. For me, for my vote. All right, so let me get back to it. I knew everything. So he added, Debbie Wasserman should have resigned much sooner than she did. The lawsuits were filed to push the DNC to admit their wrongdoing and provide Bernie Sanders supporters who supported him financially with millions of dollars in campaign contribution with restitution for being cheated. All right, so the goal was to get them to admit that and give the money back to the people who donated to the Bernie Sanders campaign, which primarily ended up going to the DNC. And this is why it is not good to run in the Democratic Party. Now, I realize Bernie Sanders, he ran as an independent in the Democratic Party. It's not because he was caucusing with the Democratic Party. He knew that he would not get any kind of press coverage, and that's the bottom line, any kind of press coverage if he ran third party. The press are not favorable for third party. They will not televise third party unless a situation like 2016. Jill Stein got a little shake. Gary Johnson got a little shake. Jill Stein got a little more than Gary Johnson, but it still wasn't enough. Now, on August 25th, the federal judge William Zloch dismissed the lawsuit after several months of litigation in which DNC attorneys argued that the DNC would be well within their rights. Now get this, that the DNC would be well within their rights to rig primaries and select their own candidate. This is what the DNC attorney said. It is on record. This is in the court of law. This is an admission of guilt from the DNC attorneys that it is well within their right to rig a primary and select their own candidates. It's not up to you. You waste your time voting. You waste your time getting out of your house and taking off your job or rushing to the poll to vote in the Democratic primaries when they still have the overall decision. You don't have no decision, none, not whatsoever. The only way they'll use your votes if it counts to who they want to run. But if your votes are not counting to who they want to run for office, who they want to be in office, then it's not going to count at all. This is the attorney admitting that, hey, it is well within our rights to rig primaries and select their own candidates. In other words, say, yes, it is well within our right to cheat if we have to cheat. Regardless, whether you like it or not, we're going to cheat if we have to. I want that to sink in for a minute, because that ought to piss you off. You bust your behind out there campaigning for a certain candidate, whether it was O'Malley, whether it was Lincoln Chafee, whether it was Jim Webb or Bernie Sanders. You bust your behind out there to campaign for these people, not knowing all along that no matter how much traction they were going to get, they still make the overall decision who get to be president or who get to run for president, not you. Am I pissed? Yeah, I'm pissed. The hours of phone calls, the doors I knocked on, the flyers I passed out, chopping it up with people, trying to help people get to the polls on the day of the event. Took all to get people the direction to get to the nearest poll station. Yet no matter what I do or what you do, they make the overall decision. It is a rigged system in the DNC. Let me continue. In the evaluating plaintiff claims at this stage, the court assumes the allegations are true, that the DNC and Wasserman Schultz held a palpable bias in favoring Clinton and sought to propel her ahead of her Democratic opponent. The court order dismissing the lawsuit stated, the order then explained why the lawsuit would be dismissed. The court must now decide whether plaintiffs have suffered a concrete injury particularized to them or one certain impending that is traceable to the DNC and its former chair conduct. The keys to entering federal court. So they were looking for these things that would get them into federal court, and they couldn't find it. The court holds that they have not. The court added that it did not consider this within its jurisdiction. Federal courts are courts of limited jurisdiction, possessed only by the power authorized by the Constitution and statute. The order reaffirms that the primaries were tipped in Hillary Clinton's favor, but the court's authority to intervene in the court of law is very limited. So in other words, they admit in court, yeah, we cheat, we have the power to cheat, ain't nothing you can do about it. And if you want to vote for us, if you want to cast your vote, it doesn't matter, we still make the overall decision whether you like it or not. So go ahead and sue us. It'll never go to the next phase because this doesn't justify injury and things like that. People don't understand, man. People were spending their last dollars to donate to Bernie Sanders' campaign. People was not going to get their prescription for drugs to pay for the $7 to $27, $17 for Bernie Sanders' campaign. People cancel their subscription to magazines or to stuff on their phone so they can pay Bernie Sanders. People taking their tithing and offering from churches, their gifts of love, to sow into Bernie Sanders' campaign. People took their hard-earned money to donate to this campaign. And for these disgusting politicians and their disgusting attorneys to sit there and say in the court of law, and I'm glad it's out, because now there's no excuse for you to continue to go down this path. Now they come in court saying that we got the right to do it. So now the cat is out the bag. You got to make a decision whether you want to continue to support them. They're sending these phony, dumb letters talking about final notice to scare you about Trump and scare you. Look, I'm more concerned about a party that cheats than a man that you say committed crimes. I'm more worried about a party. See, when a party do this stuff, then that's bad. When a man do this is one thing. See, the only thing that gave Hitler the power in Germany was the Nazi Party. Hitler could not generate that power his own without that party doing what they did to seize power. People, we got to get our power back. Let me finish. I'm almost done. The court thus assumed that the DNC and Wasserman shows preferred Hillary Clinton as the Democratic candidate for president over Bernie Sanders or any other Democratic candidate. It assumes that they stockpiled information useful to the Clinton campaign. It assumes that they devoted their resource to assist Clinton in securing a party nomination and opposing the Democratic candidate. It assumes that they engaged in these surreptitious acts while publicly proclaiming that they were completely neutral and fair and impartial. Watch this. So you heard it from the horse's butt mouth. The horse's butt is Debbie Wasserman's shows. It assumes that they devoted a resource to assist Clinton in securing the party nomination and opposing the Democratic candidate, other Democratic candidate. It assumes that they engage in I'll read over that. This order therefore concerns only technical matters of pleading and subject matter jurisdiction. At this time, it is unclear if the attorney who filed a class action lawsuit, Jared and Elizabeth Beck, will pursue other legal recourses regarding the 2016 Democratic primaries. Now, my man HJ, he interviewed Jared Beck and his wife, and they say they're going to go back later and talk about what they need to do next. Should they file an appeal or just let it go? Should they file appeal or just let it go? You tell me what you think in the comment box, what they should do in this situation. My thing is, enough said. Okay, you got my money. All right, you probably got less than, I donated to Bernie Sanders' campaign, probably altogether during the whole campaign, maybe a little over $100. All right, and that's how I do it at my church. I give based on, most of the time compulsive. Sometimes I do it because I think it's my duty to do it. So you got my money. DNC, you got my money, but you don't got me. DNC people who support the DNC, how could you know this now and give them your full support? I can say you can give them partial support, but knowing that they will cheat, and they will cheat whether you like it or not, and you may favor a candidate, and if the elite says no, we favor this candidate, they're basically throwing the bird up to you like that and say, we don't care what you do, blank you, we make the decision. And for you to know this, the system is rigged. They cut the polling stations. They manipulate the rules of the caucuses. They're closing the primaries because they know closing the primaries will favor the establishment candidate over the grassroots candidate. This. That the superdelegates, not you, make the overall decision. So even though there's a high motivation of a certain candidate running for office, the superdelegate will say, nah, y'all can have all you want. We choose the establishment candidate. And most of the superdelegate delegates are establishment candidates. And for you to know this and still support it, instead of making a demand that they change, is stupid, ignorant. You're that person that gets beat up by their spouse and don't want to leave. Your spouse cheats. Your spouse sells drugs. Your spouse don't treat you right and he don't treat other right, but you choose to stay with that spouse. Me? No. You're not going to abuse me. You're not going to use me. You're not going to cheat on me. And you're not going to cheat me, period. You're not going to do it. That's why I left the party. I only got in the party to vote for Sanders. But let me get on Sanders for a minute. Sanders knew this lawsuit was going on. He did not even participate. 2 people died that had something to do with this lawsuit. The young man, Mr. Lucas, who delivered the subpoena to the DNC, got him on a video, said this is the greatest day of his life, ended up dead from some concoction in his blood system. And you really want us to believe this dude had a drug problem? There was a man on the beach, got killed, and body was on the beach down there in Florida. People died that was close to this lawsuit. So you got death, and you got cheating going on, and you still wants to support that. People. You gotta wake up, man. Neither one of these parties are not in this for your interests. They're in it for them to build their own careers, to make a ton of money in legislating, and then to leave to go work on some board, maybe 4 or 5 different boards of some company or some organization, and make big bank while you still here struggling. Still here struggling, trying to coddle these condescending, ignorant politicians. I don't care who the Democratic run up, I'm not voting for them. I don't care who the Republican Party run up, I'm not voting for them. Will I be tempted to vote Green Party? Yes, I will be tempted to vote Green Party, but still, I'm not going to sit there and say I'm going to vote Green Party or any other party. Well, what if Bernie go and start a People's Party? Look, I'm not a party person. I'm tired of all this segregation going on in politics, all this separation, one side against the other. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party are no different from Antifa and neo-Nazis fighting. Some blood going to get spilled somewhere. And the peaceful people are going to be in the middle of that mess, and they're going to end up getting the most blood spilled. And that's me. I'm not choosing a party. You can take your Democratic Party, especially after knowing this. You can take your D and stick it up your behind. You can take your R and stick it up your behind. Now, am I going to put down Greens? No, I'm not going to put down Greens. But I don't trust them either. I don't trust no party. I vote individual, and I look at the individual, and I extend my trust out to you. But when I extend my trust out to you, and you're going to slap me in the face with my own trust, you're gone. Now, right now, what's trending right now is boycott. We already had the Dem exit. That's still going on. And it's going to go on even faster and harder now with this verdict. More people going to leave the Democratic Party. But what's trending right now is boycott 2018 and 2020, the Democratic Party. And Republicans are going to sit here and laugh thinking that we're going to go over to their side. No, most of us, we're going to have a People's Manifesto, and we're going to require each politician to commit to giving us these things in this if you want our vote. Not saying we're not going to vote, but then again, we may not. We're looking for a candidate that's going to provide and work hard to give the people these things. And if you can't commit yourself to it, you won't get our vote. The Democrats are not going to get our vote because we know they're not going to do that. And the Republican Party is not going to get our vote because we know they're not going to do that. But if there's a candidate that want to buck up against their party or run independent or part of another party that's going to commit to the People's Manifesto or commit to my friend Victor Tiffany's program, what he got going on, then we go that way, right? Way. But until then, as of right now, boycott 2018 and 2020, 2018 local and state elections, U.S. election, and boycott 2020 presidential elections and the primaries. Definitely in the primaries. So there you go. It is official. The Democratic Party, the DNC, and their attorneys moved for a motion for the case to get dismissed. And the reason it got dismissed because it doesn't have any legs to go further than that for us getting the money back to the people. There's no real you look at it as a fraud, but, you know, it was gifts of love, freely given. It's not somebody stole your money. You gave it. But what you got to do is you got to slap them hard at the next two elections. Let them know you ain't going to go for that. In the words of Darrell Hall and John Oates. You're not going to go for that. No can do I. I can go for that. No. So hashtag make this go viral. 2020 Democratic primary boycott. It's going to scare the crap out of them. And next to that, them exit today. That will scare the crap out of them. Anyway, on Bob TV, Freedom on Fire. That is a sad deal. We'll talk about the Iran situation and the Debbie Wasserman show thing coming up soon. On Bob TV, Freedom on Fire. Peace. Hey, this is your boy Bob TV with Freedom on Fire and Rob Report. I want to thank you for watching the webcast. Make sure you share these segments all across your social media network. Like and share, subscribe, and maybe invite a couple other people to do the same thing. You make the difference. I also want to thank you for those who support this channel through Patreon, whether it's 50 cents to $50 million. It goes right back into what we do here. So like the lights that you're looking at right now, that's because of something that you did. So I really appreciate it. I want to thank my man Vegimatic for the Blue Yeti mic, one of the top microphones out right now. He knew I needed the mic, so he blessed me with it. So all of you guys make the difference into this channel growing, and I really want to appreciate you for that. Also, by all means, again, continue to share your comments at the bottom of each video. Just don't get so visceral to the people who may disagree with me or may disagree with you. This calling out name stuff, that's not for this channel. So please try not to call people names, personal names. Now you can call some of the stuff they talk about crap. I say that, but just don't attack people personally. words really hurt when you start attacking people personally, because these people really believe these things, and you're not gonna take away their belief by calling them names. So please don't do that on this channel. But nevertheless, I appreciate you guys. We're shooting for 2,000 now, so I need your help. So as my pastor would say, reach one, teach one. I mean, let's reach out. You got the information. Make sure you share with other people and try to get them to subscribe to the channel so we can grow and expand. I'm Bob TV. Freedom on Fire. Rob Report. Peace.